Now here's our reporter Laura Windsor with more on teenagers out of control.
What do you do when you can't control your teenager and you are concerned for their safety because of their poor choices? We spoke to Michael Harmann, a clinical social worker and founder of Adolescent Behavioral Consulting. We asked him how a parent can tell if a teenager is just acting out or if there is a more serious problem.
It's extremely difficult to know when a kid is just acting out and everything's going to end up being okay, and when they're in danger. Normally I get called when parents are so uncomfortable that they feel like the situation's out of control and the kid's in potential danger to themselves. Or he's creating so much chaos in the house that the quality of life for everybody, siblings, parents, whatever, has diminished so much that they just don't know what to do. I got a call from a father who had had his son in a boarding school from age 11, he was now 16, and he was terrified that the kid was coming home for the summer. Every time the kid would come home, the father would look for an opportunity to not send him back to boarding school, but it would just be a nightmare at home. I don't get called unless there's real trouble, and so there's real trouble. And I let him know what happens to kids that are out of control, that absolutely are oppositional and will not listen. But I got his attention, and that's my goal, is to get his attention. So once I have his attention, then we can start talking about what are the big issues, the big behaviors that absolutely have to stop if you want to avoid that from happening, and then the stuff that we can start to work through. A lot of it's stuff that he's upset about, that he has a good reason to be upset about, and then my work is with the parents. One of the issues is that when you send a kid away, you are sending him the message that he's the problem. And oftentimes, he's not the problem. He's a minor, right? He's under the care of his parents. And oftentimes the parents don't know where to apply energy effectively. They're reacting, they're not responding. They're allowing the kid to create chaos to get what they want. And so what I do is I come in and I become the intermediary. I become the authority. A lot of times parents lack the confidence to say no. What they don't realize is that no means love. If I say no to my kid, what I'm communicating is that I'm willing to get in the line of fire. I'm willing to take the more difficult road because I love you and because I care about you. A lot of parents don't do that.
How important is it for positive parental relationships with their teenagers?
If you feed them and you house them, then you hug them and you kiss them, 100%. There has to be hugs, kisses, and I love yous. You have to know where he's at. You have to know who he's hanging out with. That's not communicating that you don't trust him. It means, there's a lot going on in today's world, and I want to know what's going on with you, right? That's not unreasonable. I believe that the parental relationship is a foundational relationship, and that needs to be solid. The kid needs to learn how to make that work, and the parents need to learn how to make that work. And then they can use that relationship and the information that they've gotten from resolution and take that into the world. Because in other relationships, the stakes aren't so high. So if they can do it there, then they're going to be able to use that and do it out in their lives. I mean, I'd rather keep them safe. That's the first thing. A lot of his parents, they're so confused about what is contributing to it. Is it because he's not brushing his teeth? Is it because his room's dirty? Is it because he's not doing his homework? So they're concentrating all this stuff and they're making conflict about all that stuff. No, those are not the issues. The issues is that you want this kid to live long enough to where his frontal lobe develops so that he has some frustration tolerance and some impulse control. So he doesn't go out there and do something that's going to affect the rest of his life.
Being a positive role model to our children is very important, and as parents, we need to take responsibility and open up the lines of communications with our teenagers so family relationships can start to fall into place. For the American Health Journal, I'm Laura Windsor.